I agree, but you begin.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go all motherly on our backsides. Welcome to Be Honest with Jojo and Bruce. I think we've been a bit mucky in the last few episodes, so I was thinking maybe we could really try and attempt not to be filthy.
Yeah, we're not going to offer up an apology.
No, God,
you have to remember
steady.
that this is a true representation of our current mental state.
Yes. And
again, not for everyone. That is the disclaimer.
But we've covered bumming and sharting.
Yeah, and we have again in this episode.
Yes,
so it's almost as though we have to have an apology one the next time.
Yes.
But no, I agree with you, because I was going to come up with a new revolutionary segment to do with Twitter.
Yes.
And where Twitter might come from.
Yeah.
But we're going to leave that.
Are we?
But you wanted to talk about Twitter.
I did want to talk about Twitter because I like the fact that Twitter is an absolute cesspit of madness and extreme opinions and people going off on one, myself included, although I've been quite good recently. Well, I don't know. I might not.
Well, you haven't been on it as much.
No, I haven't been on it as much. Well, I've not been on it as either with drink, so that'll be partly because I only tweet when I'm drunk. And then I think I'm hilarious. And then I think everything that's in my head, obviously nobody's inside my head and that's good for them. But because what's in my head all makes perfect sense. So I say something that I think is really succinct and, to the point. But nobody knows what I'm actually thinking. So they just go, she's clearly mental.
It's funny because it's been fed back to me that a lot of people have muted my Twitter because largely it's to do with retweeting about dogs that need homes. And some of those stories are quite harrowing.
They
and
are
I just
harrowing.
Sit and try and people are like, well, why don't you take another dog? And it's like, well, my dog wouldn't like it, so just leave me alone. What I have noticed on Twitter is, and I think it's a societal issue, and people seem to be in a lot of pain, but I'm going to say something to the general public. Tweeting Boris Johnson, at 2 a.m, honeys, whether you're sober or not, I'm going to throw up an analogy here. Colleen Nolan doesn't do her own Twitter. Do you honestly think that he does? I know you're angry, and I get it. I honestly do. But for the love of Christ, stop it. Because you just look like a tit.
Yeah.
And you do. That's the whole thing. And again, I do appreciate the anger, but people have to remember they aren't reading it. He probably doesn't even know what Twitter is.
Well, that's the other irony. I mean, I tweet at people. Well, not that often, but I do see people tweeting at big celebrities and, politicians. And I have someone runs my Twitter account. So if I don't have charge of my own Twitter account, not reading it half the time, then I very much doubt anybody else.
Do you know what I do find? Because actually, little Velma here, she's a verified account, you're a verified account, I'm not a verified account. Make it happen just to annoy people. But it's very interesting when you have real people that are deserving of the blue tick, people with actual TV careers. But the funny thing is with burn. But the funny thing with some of those people is they'll only reply to other blue tick accounts, and they won't have and it's funny, and I won't name names because we might want them on the show. And I'm being honest. But the fact of the matter is, Twitter, I still enjoy it. I think it's funny. It's nonsense. There's a lot of porn on it, which I have to say. Yeah, there's loads of porn. Yes.
How on earth?
Yeah, loads. Which, all joking aside,
you've got different algorithms to me.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, 100%.
Who is Femi? But the point being, it seems so clickable. I can only speak to them because they are celebrities. They only understand that, and I'm not going to reply to that because why would I reply to someone that's... And you're like, hang on a minute, grow up.
I mean, I do manage to hang on to the vague semblance of sanity that I still have left and recognise the difference between Twitter and the real world. And a lot of people don't seem to be able to disassociate those two. They really think that what happens on Twitter is relative in real life, whereas it isn't. You kind of come off Twitter and then you bump into someone and you go, yeah, we're all fairly normal, actually.
But do you think that is being even more kind of to do with lockdown and all that kind of stuff, in as much as a lot of people were locked down alone? And I understand it. Like, I have this follower, and I don't know what the deal is with this person, right? They're either nude, or they're moaning, or it's something about their dog's throwing up something. Well, that was me this morning because the dog did puke everywhere. But I think that some people use it in the wrong way. But then I understand that is their interaction with people outside of work. Too many, it's a social life.
I can understand that, and I can understand that people find a lot of comfort from that, and especially over Christmas and times where
Sarah
people
Millican
are...
does that fantastic
absolutely
thing.
Brilliant thing. So if you're alone, what I don't, and this really does absolutely annoy me, is when you know that, so whenever the whole party thing came out about Boris Johnson and all the rest of it, and it was a works meeting, once you've seen the first tweet of somebody going of themselves, you know, changing a baby's nappy or whatever, or being out in a party that they were at a works do.
Is there brie stuck to this baby?
But you know what I mean? Once you've seen one tweet where somebody's made an analogy or made an observation, why would you then go and make the same joke? And then you see people making the same joke over and over and over.
I think
and
that's
over
because
again.
people want to band together with whom they seem doing the right thing or fighting the good fight, if you see what I mean. And I think it's just their opportunity in which to launch themselves. It's like with, and I hate to use the analogy because I've decided I'm not gay, I'm a homophobe now. That's my honesty for today.
You are a homophobe.
But you see couples, you see gay couples on Twitter, right? And there is a thing called gay Twitter. And these people all meet. So say me and Velma met and be like, oh, just met someone. And then week 2, oh, he's my boyfriend now. Week 3, oh, we've moved in. Oh, he's the husband. And then it's week 6, 7, you know, they can't go anywhere. They've changed their bios to happily taken. Well, who isn't happily taken unless you were one of Fritzl's victims? Then you were taken quite unhappily. That really annoys me. And then also...
ultimately released. Happy ending.
If found, return to Velma, and you're like, oh, God, guys, have some dignity. And then, of course, see, what I liked... I like 3 months and you know they've split up and I'm like, how's everything going? Because it sounded really good. And like, oh, we split up. No, really? Is that because you're an overbearing prick? But, you know, what can you do? Another thing that I enjoy on social media is to do with the gram. And I enjoy requesting for private accounts, and the minute they allow me in, I block them. Because I think, who the hell are you? How dare you
have a private account?
Yeah.
What is the point of having a private
Absolutely.
account? Either you have it all out, like, you know, your wares are on show.
Yes.
Or you stay at home and talk to yourself.
Or you stay at home and talk to everyone on Twitter whilst photographing your bum saying, I'm having a really bad time at work this week. It just seems
Which
silly.
is your favourite of the apps? Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Oh, sorry.
My favourite.
I just realised the question I've asked.
My favourite.
Not including that.
My favourite is the
there
Harvey
more?
Nichols app. That's genuinely
Is there
my
more
favourite.
than one app? Of course there is.
Let's not.
Let's not go there. We promised
Do you know why?
ourselves at the
Because it's
beginning.
boring. We want to be all inclusive.
No. So I'm not going there. Not those kind of apps.
Which do I prefer?
Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
I've never
TikTok.
used Facebook in my life. I've never understood it. I don't believe in it. And all you hear is people moaning about Facebook. I've come off Facebook and I feel physically and mentally lighter. And you're like, oh, get a life.
I think
because your husband's having an affair behind your backs.
I think
You've bigger
Facebook
things to worry about.
is the place where mental health goes to live, because there's nothing quite like somebody putting out their mental health status to make me really struggle with my own.
Well, I just always...
Do you know that way some people say it's okay to not be okay?
It's also okay to be really quiet. Sometimes it is okay. And see over here, it's good to talk, leave people alone.
Yes,
and the thing is, the words mental health have lost their meaning because people just jam them into a sentence because I'm doing the right thing, look at me, and I'm going to tweet blue accounts. And you're like, stop saying mental health.
But, yes, because the other thing that people do, especially the Be Kind Brigade.
Oh my God, they're anything but. Do you know why? They're largely a bunch of nasty homos.
Yes. The Be Kind Brigade are largely the same people that go, unless you absolutely agree with everything I say, in which case I want you to die. But the okay to not be okay is quickly followed by, unless you're really not okay, in which case keep that shit away from me.
I have a story, and we may overrun. Okay, so bear with me. No names.
Yeah.
Someone that I worked
Guess
with.
Who Don't Sue.
Guess Who Don't Sue. You did a video for them. We'll leave it at that. So this person had got in touch with me. Hi, haven't heard from you for a while. How are you? I explained my current situation. It's not particularly great. It's to do with my father. It's to do with various other things. Oh my God, that's a lot. I'm sorry I asked. And I went,
wow.
I went, what?
What actually?
And oh, no. But the thing is, oh, by the way, that wasn't a jibe. Have you got people around you? I said, no, I'm sorry you asked. And I'm sorry I replied. Because in this case, honesty is not the best policy. You're missing the part. I said, if you don't F off, I said, but all I will say is I wish you all the best for 2022. Now, that happened 2 nights ago because I got in touch and I told you. And that's those are your be kind thing. You know, those are, I'm so left, I'm so left. It's your friend VVG, Vanity Von Glow. I'd watched her on, I can't remember where it was. I'd gone on a Google troll because, well, I'd showed you the picture of the thing I found earlier, and we're not talking about it, but it's funny and it smells. And what Vanity had said was, with the far left, on some things, you're already over the line as far as they're concerned because you deign to have existed. Yeah. Can I ask a question, and do get in touch? Can you hear us breathing? I'm really conscious of that. I used to do a podcast with someone else, not you, and people always used to say, but one woman said, oh my God, I could hear you breathing, and it reminded me of that scene in Death Becomes Her where she was like, would you mind not breathing? But anyway, I think...
Well, that's a bit disastrous if we don't breathe, because I actually was told yesterday about a business that started up, which is oxygen therapy. And then Susie Moore said to me, no, apparently it's really popular, oxygen therapy. And I was like, well, I would have thought oxygen in the main was quite popular. I mean, really? Is that where we're at?
Tickets are on sale for our live show the 13th of March at the Stand. Subscribe and leave us a review wherever you get your podcasts so people can find us. Yes, we want to spread.
We do, but not that.
Like fertiliser, in order to harness something good.
Or syphilis.
Well, no.
Or COVID.
Whoa, bye.
Just got it in
bye,
there. Bye.
Bye. Bye.